The holographic display flickered in the dim light of the command center as Kiza reviewed the intelligence reports for the third time that hour. Her dark eyes narrowed at the data streaming across her neural interface. The Galactic Council had made their decision, and it was exactly as foolish as she'd predicted. "They actually did it," Nick said from behind her, his voice carrying a mixture of disbelief and grim satisfaction. He stepped closer to the display, his military uniform crisp despite the late hour. "Declaration of war. Against all of humanity. Do they have any idea what they've just done?" Kiza turned to face her partner, her expression unreadable. They'd worked together for 5 years in the diplomatic corps, trying desperately to prevent this exact scenario. Now that it had arrived, she felt an odd sense of calm wash over her. "They think they know," she replied, pulling up a tactical map of Council space. "They've analyzed our military capabilities, counted our ships, measured our weapons yields. They've done everything by their playbook. Everything except understand who we actually are," Nick finished, crossing his arms. His jaw tightened as he studied the deployment patterns of the Council fleet. 47 species, thousands of worlds, millions of ships, all arrayed against humanity's mere hundreds of colonies. The Council had cited humanity's aggressive expansion and dangerous unpredictability as justification for their preemptive strike. What they failed to understand was that humanity hadn't survived Earth's countless wars, plagues, and near extinctions by being predictable. Kiza activated her comlink. "Admiral Chen, this is Commander Kiza. Initiate Protocol Prometheus." Nick's eyes widened slightly. Prometheus was the contingency they'd all hoped would never be necessary. The protocol that assumed total war and removed every constraint humanity had placed on itself since joining the galactic community. Within hours, the first Council fleet arrived at Proxima Station, humanity's outermost settlement. They expected token resistance, a quick victory to force human surrender. Instead, they found the station evacuated and rigged with gravitational collapse charges. The explosion didn't just destroy the attacking fleet. It created a temporary black hole that consumed everything within 3 light minutes, including the Council's supply depot in the neighboring system.
"Casualties?"
Kiza asked, monitoring the engagement from the war room. "0 on our side," Nick reported. "Estimated 30,000 Council personnel lost. Their admiral is demanding to know how we weaponized gravitational collapse." "Don't tell them," Kiza said coldly. "Let them wonder. Let them fear." That was humanity's first lesson to the Council. Humans didn't fight wars to win battles. They fought to break the enemy's will. The second lesson came at the Battle of New Horizon. The Council sent their elite Krillian shock troops, legendary for their savagery and undefeated in 3 centuries of warfare. They expected to overwhelm the human defenders through sheer ferocity. Instead, the Krillians encountered something they'd never faced before. Humans who fought back with equal savagery, who refused to surrender even when surrounded, who turned every building into a fortress and every street into a killing field. Nick led the ground forces personally, and Kiza watched through drone feeds as he demonstrated why humanity had earned the nickname Death Worlders. The Krillians were bred for war. Humans were forged in it, shaped by millions of years of evolution on a planet that tried constantly to kill them. When the Krillians finally retreated, they'd lost 70% of their force. They never deployed shock troops against humans again. The third lesson was the cruelest. The Council attempted a biological weapon, a pathogen designed to target human DNA. They released it on 3 colony worlds simultaneously, expecting it to spread like wildfire through humanity's population. Kiza had anticipated this. Humanity had survived the Black Death, smallpox, the corruption virus, and dozens of other plagues. Their immune systems were nightmares of evolutionary warfare, and their medical technology was built on centuries of fighting diseases that would have exterminated any other species. Within weeks, human scientists had not only developed a cure, but had weaponized the pathogen to target Council species instead. They didn't deploy it, they simply let the Council know it existed. Mutually assured destruction, Nick observed as they watched the Council's emergency session. "They're terrified." "They should be," Kiza replied. "They've finally realized what we tried to tell them. Humans don't start wars. But once you start one with us, we'll finish it." The war lasted 6 months. The Council lost 3 of their core worlds, 17 major fleets, and over 1 million personnel. Humanity lost colonies, certainly, and tens of thousands of lives. But the difference was stark. The Council was fighting to maintain their dominance. Humanity was fighting to survive. And humans were very, very good at survival. The peace treaty was signed aboard the human flagship Indomitable. Kiza and Nick stood beside Admiral Chen as the Council representatives filed in, their various forms all sharing the same defeated posture. "This didn't have to happen," Kiza told them, her voice quiet but firm. "We never wanted war. We wanted partnership, cooperation, mutual growth." The Zax ambassador, its crystalline structure dimmed with shame, spoke for the Council. "We underestimated you. We saw your small numbers and assumed weakness. We didn't understand that you came from a world that kills the weak, that you evolved in constant warfare, that you view extinction as something to fight against rather than accept." Nick stepped forward. "Now you know, humans don't surrender. We don't accept defeat. We adapt, we innovate, and we survive. That's not a threat, it's a fact. A fact you would have learned peacefully if you'd chosen friendship instead of war." The Council agreed to humanity's terms: reparations, territorial concessions, and most importantly, a permanent seat on the Council itself with veto power. The Council had declared war to put humanity in its place. Instead, they'd elevated humanity to leadership. As the treaty was formalized and the Council representatives departed, Kiza allowed herself a small smile. "Think they learned their lesson?" Nick watched the departing ships through the viewport. "They learned that humans are the worst enemy you can make. Whether they learned to be better neighbors, that remains to be seen." Kiza nodded, already thinking about the challenges of peace. The war was over, but humanity's real test was just beginning, proving they could be as good at building bridges as they were at burning them. She had hope. After all, humans were excellent at adaptation, and peace, she thought, was just another challenge to overcome.